Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let me show you what we've done here on this Mustang. I've got quite a, I say what we've done. I've been breaking my back out here on this thing. Let me show you how far along I've gotten with the car. Holy smokes. It's about rotten. Alright, so I got this cowl finally loose, the upper and lower. What I'm finding is I'm going to likely have to replace these side pieces here. Been working on replacing the firewall, replacing the floor. Also put in torque boxes. Basically everything's kind of staged in here. I'm just testing test fit. Got a whole lot of measuring to do to make sure it fits well. So let me show you what I've done. I use these little RV jack stands to try to give me a fine adjustment to level the car up both left to right here, you know, in one direction, and since I'm an engineer I'll say I've leveled it up in the X and the Y direction, and then in the Z direction up and down I've got multiple levels here of various lengths. And so before you know, again, this floor is just setting in place, you know, I would I've got the 6-foot leveler run across, and I would check it in multiple locations, and then a piece of aluminum there running across underneath each of those frame rails, and then I'll put my short little level across here. I've ordered, and I'm going to be replacing these side sections of the cowl, so they've rusted through, and honestly it's cheaper for me just to go ahead and cut this thing out than try to patch holes here. That both sides have holes here. You know, you can see I've got my dimensions kind of here, so I know what it is I want to do. The cowl, I did put these in on both sides. These were 2-piece cowls, and most all the videos talk about how difficult it is to put these things in when they're 2-piece or when they're 1-piece. But what I've done is I use a little porta power, a little jack back, and just kind of spread the frame rail and the floor apart just enough just to slide it in, and then backed off, and it, you know, puts it in there tight, so I didn't have to fight it like a lot of folks do. So I think the Kiwi man, the Kiwi shop, shout out to him for his little trick on how to get these these 1-piece torque boxes in. And so here's the other side cowl panel that's, you know, I'm going to replace. Again, I've ordered it. It comes, it's cheaper just to buy the full side piece that runs all the way on the inside back here than it is just buying the patch panel. So I bought the full piece, and I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to just cut and use that section of the sidewall panel. I've got a fair amount of cleanup I need to do and prep before I, you know, grinding and sanding before I do any welding up here. So let me take this apart here and show you what I'm talking about. I disassembled everything behind the dash. I've done a little bit of buffing just to get some of the surface rust off the back of the dash. These side panels are going to get replaced, so I'm going to end up cutting down along this edge and replace this piece, but I'm going to wire wheel the exposed metal, and then I'm going to put some rust encapsulator all back here. And then, you know, I've done a lot of, you know, while I can get access to all this, it'll make it a whole lot easier. Put down a coat or two of rust encapsulator once I've cleaned that up. That firewall goes in and the floor overlaps that, then I'll probably weld the floor in. So that's the sequence at this point. But like every car, the battery box always rusts out, so I'm going to replace that panel on the apron, and then I've got the new, you know, the new piece that welds in that piece of the apron for the battery. It supports the apron, excuse me, supports the battery. let me show you what I've been up to here with the Mustang. I've put the firewall in, put the upper and lower cowl in, and you know, the side panels that go on each side of the cowl, they had some rust in them. I went ahead and replaced those. And I've got it pretty well welded in. I've also put torque boxes. A 66 Mustang didn't come with torque boxes, but most everybody that's doing this kind of work just adds that extra strength and makes it a lot stiffer. So, you know, when I took the existing firewall out and the cowl out, you know, the front end did want to dip a little bit, but I got my laser level lined up on the front frame rails in order to get that correct. I got all the rockers were all on level lengthwise of the car, as well as crossways across the two rockers. So I got a big 6-foot level to do that. And so I got it all squared up, and I've got the front end, these fender aprons welded back to the new firewall. And I've probably got a little more welding to do, but I've got most of it done. It's quite stiff. But I want to show you what I've done in the meantime and what I've got to do next. The last panel I have to replace is this panel here in the apron. I've already started drilling out. You can see where I've already started with my plug weld, my spot weld drilling bit. One thing I've done a couple days ago is I took the car back out. I put the wheels back on it. I couldn't steer it other than by hand. I had to grab a hold of the tire and keep twisting as I pulled it over to where the paint bay where we do blasting and painting, and I pulled it over there. I blasted off all this front radiator support. With the inside here, obviously since this is being replaced by that new panel over there on the wall, I obviously didn't blast that. I blasted all this area here. Again, the firewall was new. I blasted this and painted it so that I could get it braced off to get my dimensions right and hold this front end steady when I was welding these fender aprons back to the firewall. Well, folks, mission accomplished. I got the new cowl, the new firewall, the new torque boxes all installed, and looking forward to the next episode. So next time I get out working on this 66 coupe, y'all come go with us.